Hello, hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Happy Monday, everyone. I'm excited to be here today. We are going to talk about kicking that sugar habit. I know that you are excited to hear all about it. How many of you are ready to talk about kicking the sugar habit so you can lose some weight? Right? And maybe you don't need to lose any weight, but you definitely know that you're eating too much sugar. You got too much sugar in your diet. Maybe your doctor has told you you need to cut back on sugar, or maybe you just know, maybe you have a family history of sugar-related things and you know you need to cut back on the sugar. If you need to work on that sugar habit, today is the day to get some tips to get you started. So I'm going to take a minute to share this to my group so the wonderful ladies there can get in on the goodness. If you haven't already joined us over in the Sisterhood of Strong Crew group, you can do that. Don't do it right now. Do it after the live. But we would love to have you over in the group, the Sisterhood of Strong Crew. We are a community of women, mostly women, some guys, who are building a healthy lifestyle. So you make sure that you join us in the group. All right. Thank you. Thank you. So you guys, my name is Teresa Horn. I'm the founder of Sisterhood of Strong. And today I'm going to be talking to you about ways to kick your sugar habit. If you are joining me live, please say live in the comments. I would love to come back and answer any questions you may have. If you get a chance to catch the replay, please say replay. I love to be able to talk to my friends and answer questions and be involved and helpful. So many of the things I'm going to talk about today, I've actually walked through myself and have personally found them helpful. But the first thing I want to share with you, and this is the pivotal thing, when you are changing, doing a big change like this, when you are really focusing on creating a healthy lifestyle that is sustainable. The first thing that I would say is, you want to really recognize where you're coming from with that change. What is that change? What's the base? What's the why of that change? For some of us, that change is prompted by a medical scare. Right? You have your doctor said, you need to watch your blood sugar. Your blood sugars are, trending high. You're pre-diabetic, you're insulin resistance, you have PCOS, you have diabetes. And those are the things that are triggering your why, your change. I want to encourage you to really talk to your loved ones, your spouse, and ask God for direction on how you should proceed. These are changes that are major. They're things that are going to help improve the quality of your life. And if God is at the center of your life, you want to make sure that you are checking in before you change your course, before you make changes, because those are the changes that are going to last, right? When we do us changes, like when I do a change that's like Teresa led, it ends up with Teresa level results, right? We want to have changes that are God led so we can get God results. Amen. Can I get some God results for this? Because those are the ones that are going to last. So that's my first suggestion to you, is just really be motivated and led when you start your changes, because that's going to last. All right, so let's get into what has worked for me and why, kind of the why of why these things work. I was tempted to talk about some of the gimmicks and fads that go on because they're so popular and people, but I really want to give you information that is tested and that works and that is going to stand the test of time, really. So here we go. The first suggestion I'm going to give you is the hardest. I'm going in for all the toes today. So if you thought this was going to be, I don't know, soft or nice, it's not. I'm going in. So first is cut that sugar cold turkey. Cut it cold turkey. And the reason that you might want to cut the sugar cold turkey is because we have become sugar dependent. Most of us, if you say you have a sugar tooth, you're sugar dependent, meaning that your palate is used to sugar. So a gradual cutting back on sugar is going to be really difficult because you're going to be like always missing the whole sugar taste. So cut the sugar cold turkey. And when we do that, when we cut the sugar, we give our palate a chance to then re-experience sugar, but you have to walk away from it first. So cut sugar cold turkey. Now, one of the things about cutting sugar cold turkey is that some of us don't understand how many places that we're getting sugar in our diet. We think that sugar is a cookie, or we think that sugar is when we put sugar in our coffee. There is sugar in the majority of what you eat, probably. I tell a story about, actually, I was doing a live and I was talking about my favorite chicken strips, and I had the bag in my hand and I was like, these chicken strips, they were Tyson boneless, skinless chicken strips, frozen. And I was like, and you always have to read the label. And I'm doing a live, you guys, and you always have to read the label. Read the label, and they put sugar in that now. I had gotten lazy and just started, buying the same thing over and again. I wasn't constantly looking at the label. I'd come to believe that it would stay the same. They started adding sugar to the glaze because why? It makes you want more. It makes you want more. There's no reason we would have sugar on our boneless, skinless chicken strips. Nobody who is trying to eat healthy wants sugar on their chicken strips, but it obviously changes the flavor, makes it something that's more desirable. So they were slapping sugar on that. So we need to read the label, and we need to know the different names of sugar, right? Well, sometimes it will say sugar, but high fructose corn syrup and all these different names for sugar. So we need to understand what the different names of sugar are so we can understand what we are going to cut out of our diet. The easiest way to go cold turkey on sugar is to switch to a whole foods diet, to switch to protein, fat, and fruits and vegetables. Just cut everything in a package out and just go to those things, read the labels, make sure they're not putting sugar on your meat, and just go that way. Now, fruit has sugar, dairy has sugar, they're naturally occurring sugars. And when you cut sugar cold turkey, if you cut down to those things, you will probably be okay. I will say some of us are very sugar sensitive. And so, and if you are diabetic, or if you've been around someone who has diabetes, you know that there are certain fruits that have a lot of sugar in them. Grapes are high in sugar. Apples are high in sugar. So if you're very sensitive to sugar, you may even have to be careful with those types of things. But number one is to cut sugar cold turkey. Number two is to drink more water. So when we are changing, basically, because what we're doing is we're changing our palate, we want to cleanse our palate as much as we can. Also, if we drink water, it distracts our body. Our body is busy, being hydrated and quite frankly, going to the bathroom. When you are flushing toxins out of your body, they have to leave some kind of way. So drink more water is number two. Most of us need to be drinking more water. So even if you don't have to, you're not working on the sugar, you probably should drink more water anyway. Increase your protein. Our three major macronutrients are protein, carbohydrates, and fats. When we cut back on one, we want to increase another. Protein is a wonderful way to take up the space of those simple carbohydrates. So when we cut out the sugars are carbs. So when we cut out the sugar, we want to replace it with something else. I will interject here that is why keto works so well for so many people. It is because it takes out lots of carbs, really low numbers on all carbs. Carbs are sugar. So when you look at keto, you are decreasing your sugar intake when you decrease your carbs. So first I'm going to suggest is you increase your protein, but then number one, two, three, the next is to increase your fat. Now, I am not suggesting that you go on a keto diet. I really don't think that's the best. I think that there's a wonderful place in everyone's world for fruits and vegetables. So when your carbs are super low, because like I said, carbs, sugar, same family. So if you take your carbs really low, your sugar is going to be low, but you also are missing the benefits that fruits and vegetables have in them. So not suggesting keto, but I am suggesting that you increase the amount of healthy fats in your diet. And what would healthy fats be? That would be things like nuts, olives. Those are healthy fats, and they would be no carb or low carb. Okay, so next, increase your fiber. Again, when we say increase your fiber, the natural places that we get fiber are vegetables. So increase the amount of fiber that you're getting in your diet. My suggestion is going to be vegetables. There are some man-made ways to get fiber, or basically they're just man-made ways to get fiber. So like there's bars you can get that have high fiber, but those are also probably going to have sugar to make them palatable. So the best way to get more fiber would be to eat more vegetables. Next is exercise. One of the things that sugar does for us is it gives us a hormone kick. It gives us a it's not adrenaline. It's I'm losing it right now, but exercise will give you the same thing, right? So endorphins. Whoo. So sugar will help release endorphins. We're going to take the sugar out. We're going to give you an endorphin hit in another place. Exercise will be a really good place. If you can come to enjoy exercise in that way, what a great compromise or replacement that would be for you, right? So exercise is next. This one is a little bit weird, but it works really well. But when I'm having sugar cravings, one of the things that I will do is eat pickles. Pickles as in pickled cucumbers, or they have so many different pickled options now, like pickled cauliflower and pickled asparagus. All of those pickled things make my mouth water just talking about it. All of those pickled things, it gives your palate something else to enjoy, right? So sugar is it's very pleasing for the palate for most of us, right? If you've seen sweet or salty, they're kind of like opposites. Our palates enjoy that kind of sensation. So when we go from sugar, you can go to something that's pickled, like pickles or pickled, like I said, cauliflower, all that stuff. And there's so many options now, and you could obviously even make your own, but that is some yummy stuff. Yeah, I love pickles too. Love love pickles. And you can make your own, like I said, and there's chow chow and all types of different stuff. Pickles are a great option when you are breaking that sugar craving. Olives also work in that same way for me, and olives are a healthy fat. And then there's another, and then fermented foods. So like sauerkraut or kombucha is not the same. So, but like, kimchi, is that it? Those types of things would also work. I like pickles because they're low in calories, and I don't know, I like the crunch. So for me, pickles is my favorite, or pickled other vegetables that come in a little jar. So pickles. Next, stay busy. Stay busy. So when we are bored, we tend to snack. So don't let yourself get bored. When we say bored, I'm not talking about being busy without senselessly busy, or busy in a way that is like a grinding busy, but just don't let yourself I don't want to say veg out, because that's not, sometimes we do veg out and relax, but just, it's that TV time where you probably should be doing something like either sleeping, or most of it's sleeping. This is actually the time of day that it generally happens. It's in the evening, about 9 o'clock. You feel like it's too early for you to go to bed, and yet you don't, or this is what happens as a mom. It feels like I've been doing things all day for other people. The other people are finally satisfied, and this is my time for me. But really, you're too tired and you just need to go to bed. But you want to stay up and you want to watch TV because you can, because this is your time of the day and you can do this thing. And then you end up snacking because you really should be sleeping. So that time, we don't want that time. So if you're going to enjoy some Netflix binging, make sure that you have a plan for that snacking, that you are going to snack on pickles, or you're going to, get a really good, do water infusion, infuse some water and drink some flavorful water, or, you're going to get a really good sparkling water that doesn't have any added sugar in it. Something else for that TV time, because I know a lot of us enjoy that. Like, that's your time where you get to relax and unwind and everything. But first of all, make sure you're not sleepy and that you're not having this time in suffering from a lack of sleep, because that happens a lot. I know it happens a lot. You guys are staying up watching TV because you want this time to yourself, but you really need to be sleeping. So sleeping is actually next. But if you're going to have that time, make sure you have a plan for the snacks at that time, because that 7 to 10 o'clock time is a snacking time for many of us, and it's filled with sugary snacks, right? It's filled with sugary snacks that are not helpful for us. Now, some of us are like, well, I don't really snack on sugary stuff during that time. I'm more of a potato chip, chips and salsa type of person. Yep, gotcha, sugar. What? Did she just call my potato chips sugar? I did. I called your potato chips sugar, and I said, put them down. Let's talk about why. So, the carbs in potatoes and the carbs in chocolate are carbs, and your body turns them into sugar. So it doesn't really matter if you're eating potato chips, if you're eating a biscuit, if you're eating a piece of Wonder Bread, if you're eating a cookie, all of that, body is thinking it's sugar. I'm just gonna let that hang there for a minute, because I know some of y'all is mad, like, what? Yeah. So really, all of the packaged stuff, we want to get rid of it. Now, that travels back to number 1 when I said cold turkey. So really we're talking about doing whole foods for 21 days would be really good. Right now, if you're a part of the virtual studio, we have a 21-day meal plan available in the virtual studio. Like, all you have to do is go to the membership site and plan out and print it out, and you can see 21 days of meals that are whole foods that are going to be low in sugar for you. All right, so then the last suggestion, I know some of y'all is really, really happy. Give me a happy face in the comments if you are loving this. If you're like, ooh, love it. I'm so excited. This is great information. Give me a happy face in the comments. Last one is sleep. We all need to get more sleep. We all need to get more rest. Not the same thing, but that's not the lie for this. We're going to talk about that later. But sleeping is going to help. Sleeping is going to help. Thank you. Thank you for the smiley faces. Sleeping is going to help. First of all, sleeping is going to help you get enough rest to repair your body. It's going to help you get enough rest to repair your body. Also, it's going to cut out some of that time where we would be snacking, when we'd be doing some of that snacking that we need to stop, right? So sleeping is really helpful. Most of the time when I get into trouble and I'm like, oh, I'm so hungry, is a time of day where I probably should just go ahead and go to bed, right? So sleep is going to be helpful. Now, the first thing I suggested was cold turkey, and I know that is a lot. However, I know you can do it. You absolutely can. You can, you can, you can. So if you're like, yeah, I can, but I'm not ready for that yet, let's talk about ways that you can change your palate without cutting sugar cold turkey. Now, the first thing I want to do is tell you guys all to go over, if you don't already have it, I have a resource for you on the website, Sisterhood of Strong. It's the Sugar Detox Success Manual. I printed mine out. It looks like this. This is going to go over the different names of sugar, which is really important, and then give you steps to actually cut sugar. This is a 5-day detox it gives you. And you're going to need more than 5, but it's really helpful. The information, the different names for sugar, the things I talked about today, the 10 steps with more information. So go ahead over to the website and click on Start Here and print yourself the Sugar Detox Manual. So that you want to do that. This is free for you. And then number 2, in May, we're in the Sisterhood of Strong crew. We're going to be doing a sugar detox together. And we're not going to go cold turkey. We're going to work through the month of May, just cutting our sugar back as a group, because it can be challenging. Now, what I personally did is I've done a sugar detox in the past. It's helpful to help you really understand the different places that we get that taste of sugar from, and where different places we start to get a sugar hit from. I'm gonna call it what it is, a sugar hit. But it is challenging. So in the month of May, in the Sisterhood of Strong crew, we're gonna be talking about different ways to get that sweet taste without the same effect to your blood sugar, and also ways that'll help you cut calories. So that's what we're going to work on in May. And I will say, I feel like there is a place for sugar-free things in my life. So you can decide, you know, if I'm not going to eat sugar-free because I don't feel like it's healthy. The research, you can look at the research and see what the research says on that. There are definitely some sweeteners that have some pretty bad research behind them. Like, I would never suggest you do aspartame, But Splenda, you know, it's not, the research isn't super horrible, but it's not 100% great either. So you would need to decide, am I going to eat Splenda or I'm going to not eat Splenda? Same goes with stevia. Stevia is a natural sweetener. Are you okay with stevia? Sugar alcohols. How do you feel about sugar alcohols? For me personally, I find that I am okay with those things in moderation. And let me tell you why. Honey, which is a natural sweetener, and maple syrup, which is a natural sweetener, they, for me, affect my blood sugar. So some people are not that sensitive to honey or not that sensitive to maple syrup. And that's great if it doesn't affect your blood sugar. For me, they do. Sugar alcohols do not. Splenda does not. Now, I don't eat a lot of Splenda and I don't eat a lot of stevia, but stevia at times has given me a headache. Natural, yes, but does it, you know, there's times when stevia, a natural sweetener, has given me a headache. So those are things that if you don't cut those things out and then put them back in, you're not going to know how they affect your body. And really, this is about what's going to, you know, help me build a healthy lifestyle that's sustainable. I am not in a position that I'm going to never have sugar again. It's just not that's not where I am. But I am super careful about the sugar that I have because I know that a certain amount of sugar makes me feel not great. I also know that a certain amount of sugar makes me super crave sugar, which I don't think that's really the right way to say that, but it does. Like if I eat a certain amount of cake, then I want all of the cake. And I don't want to live that way. Like I don't want to live that way. I know if I have a certain amount of cake, cookies, you know, about, I don't know, 4 times a year, that I'm living happy and I feel free to choose and have things. And I don't feel, well, I don't put on pounds. That's number 1. I don't feel deprived. That's number 2. And I also don't feel condemnation about, oh, she ate cake or, you know, any of that, right? So I want to have food freedom. And the number 1 thing with that is knowing what your body responds to, which is really hard to do if you never completely step away from things. So in May, we'll work on stepping away from different sugars, but we'll do it one thing at a time. And it will start with the major offenders, which are cakes and cookies and pies and those processed carbohydrates, baked goods that really swing your blood sugar. So that's what we're going to be working on in May. So if you haven't joined our group, the Sisterhood of Strong Crew, you want to go ahead and make sure you go over and join the group because we'll be doing that together in May. Obviously, again, it's a part of our free things. And then also, if you haven't gone to the website to print out the Sugar Detox Success Manual, you want to do that as well. I'm going to mention tomorrow at 10. I think we're doing this on Latara. If you're still on here, we're doing that on your page. I have my mentor, and she's also one of my personal training clients. She's been working out with me for a year now. A year. And we're going to be celebrating tomorrow and talking about the journey that she's gone on this year. So that's going to be 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll post later. I think it's going to be on her page. Yep, she's got it in the comments. Thank you. So we'll be talking about her journey. And, you know, she's going to tell y'all how it is. It's not going to be... There will be no sugar coating of that conversation. There'll be no sugar. It'll be a sugar-free conversation, but just her journey. And it's going to be good stuff. Just the different changes that we have to go through when we change our lifestyle. So it'll be on her page Latara Venice in, yeah, at 10. Oh, 10 Central, 11 Eastern Standard. I was gonna make her wake up too early for a minute there. So it's 11 for all my people on the East Coast. It's 11 Eastern Standard and 10 Central. So there we have it, you guys. Sugar. We need to cut the sugar. It's a huge issue. And again, I'm gonna point back to this. I know some of you are like, keto, you know, should I do keto? And my answer is no, you should not do keto. You should cut sugar. Same. And do you see the parallel? I'm going to suck on this. Do you see the parallel? If you cut sugar, you're going to cut your carbs down low, but you're not going to give up broccoli and sweet potatoes and what else? Brussels sprouts, roasted Brussels sprouts. Who wants to give that up? That's delicious. Sauteed onions, you don't have to give those things up because sauteed onions are high in natural sugar. You shouldn't have to give that up. You just want to understand that's where you want to get your sugars from, not from a sugar-free protein bar. I said what I said. All right, you guys, that's it for us today. Thank you so much for joining me, Teresa Horn, Sisterhood of Strong. Go over to the website, click on Start Here and download your sugar detox, and then go over to the Sisterhood of Strong crew and join us in that community. You guys have a great day. I'll talk to you next. Well, I should talk to you tomorrow at 10 or 11 Eastern. All right, bye-bye.